Yo guys, how's it going? It's your boy Poppy Wolf, and welcome back to another episode of the Goat for Goat podcast. It is me, your boy, and we got a lot to talk about this week. See, for this episode, I've decided that we're gonna be what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be looking at a topic that was inspired by a fellow content creator by the name of Samantha Leone, or I believe it's pronounced Samantha Leone. If you guys haven't heard of her, please do me a favor, check her out. I'm probably gonna leave the link to the description to where my video was inspired by from her on I'm probably gonna leave it all over my I'll probably leave it in the description below. But she had a video called Porn and Its Effect on Us, and after watching it, because she is such a interesting individual, her like I said, I followed her basically from the Destry Smith stuff, but when I got into her content, I found a lot of interesting topics. I found a lot of interesting not even topics, but vulnerabilities that she was sharing with the whole world, and she was sharing with her subscribers, and I was enamored by the way she is so open. And even though she's obviously it's obviously it's scary to share so much about yourself. It is scary to let someone in so much. I have to in a sense admire her, because she does it and she doesn't hold back when she does. She lets it all out and she allows us to see it. And for me as a person, I'm just wow, you are really showing us your whole world. Wow, I have to give you a clap on the hands, because that is so scary. That is so I know how that would feel. Excuse me too, I might be coughing and clearing my chest. That's only because I'm having allergies, so I'm still drinking water, at least to satiate thatness, so that way it doesn't go too crazy. But her video, Porn and Its Effect on Us, is so interesting because it tackles some issues that I've always somewhat known when it comes to sex, and it's that everything you see on porn is literally fantasy, and I feel like a lot of people don't know that. And she talks about experience working in her profession, and these guys who come in and they think that they've never been with a woman, an actual woman before, so they assume they have to be rough. They that's the only way a woman wants, is a man to be rough, and they're right to it to an extent. But oh my god, my voice. But the biggest problem with all that is since they've never known a woman before, they think that going rough and everything like that is exactly what a woman wants, and they don't really understand that it's more of some women want it, not all women want it. And even if they do want it rough, it's they have to really trust you. They really have to establish that dialogue, hey, I'm very comfortable with you, doing this, but I have to let you know that if you do this any harder, if anything like this, I'm going to be pissed. And so she talks about that in her story, and it inspired me to talk about this topic because I've never really understood why people not understood that. Growing up, porn to me seemed like it was always fantasy. It just looked like it. It never looked like it was real. And I do associate with people who work in that profession, who work on sex work, who work in who've worked in videography like that, and who have done scenes like that. And it's very interesting because if you guys know this, real sex isn't as glorious sometimes. It can be, it definitely can be, but the thing on porn is so exaggerated, and it's so played up and so hammed up that it's supposed to look like that. Sex isn't always looking like that. Sometimes it's very quiet, sometimes it's very intense, sometimes it's very awkward, sometimes it's very fun and intimate and almost soul bonding. And I think in porn they do it for the movie effect. When I close a door, I don't close the door like I'm a fucking superhero. I don't fucking shut it and look behind me look like I'm ready to fight. No, like I do a whole different thing. I do an actual human movement. I do an actual like I would say like normal thing, but I don't think it's normal. But you know what I mean? Like I don't think a lot of people understand that aspect of reality and fantasy when it comes to pornography. I think they just think, oh, like I'm just gonna jackhammer a bitch and she's gonna come. Like no, like that's not how it works. And she further elaborates on like doing what the guy does to her on him, and she's like, oh no, I don't like how that feels. And she's like, well, baby, like that's not what I like either. And it's just like that makes so much sense, and it makes so much sense when like I think I've I think one time I was messing around with someone who she like barely was getting into like having sex, and she was like, oh, like do I just like do this like harder? And I'm like, no, like that's gonna hurt you, like what the fuck are you doing? And she was like, but I saw in porn like guys like it when like, I was like, porn is fake. Like I don't know who needs to tell you this, but like porn stars, when the way they fuck is for acting. Like the way they fuck for real when they fuck their people is probably a lot like us. It's not crazy. It's not elaborate. They're not fucking getting gangbanged. They're not like going yeah, like it's not nothing like that. Like for them it's very intimate, like because if they do this for work, they want to be able to separate that energy. Like, okay, this is how I fuck at work, and it annoys me, it's disgusting, I don't really feel it, and it's just tiring and bothersome, it feels like a workout. They want to be able to have it more intimate. They want to be able to have it more fulfilling with their partners. And sometimes it's just it could be very vanilla. Sometimes it could be something very different than the scenes that they're doing for porn. It could be, you don't know this, and I think a lot of people don't see behind the scenes, and they really need to see behind the scenes so they understand like these people, like these people that they see online and like on Pornhub and X videos and whatever sites you guys are using, they're not, the way they fuck their partners or the way they fuck outside of their job is so different. It's very much like us. It could be very vanilla. And then the thing is, if that breaks the illusion for you, then you probably are a porn addict, because you need that you need that fantasy. And it's good to have that fantasy, because at the end of the day it's just a fantasy. But if you try to put that in reality and you try to implement all those things in reality, you're not going to get very far with women. You're not going to have a very good experience with women. You're not going to have a lot of things with women. You're just going to end up hurting her. You're going to end up, she's going to look at you and be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you know, like, do you think that I like stuff like that? And it's crazy, because I think the hardest thing in the world when it comes to like breaking that illusion is understanding, like, yes, some girls like it rough, but you have to be able to like implement that conversation and that energy of like, is this fine? Okay, if it's fine, then I'll keep going. If it isn't fine, then okay, like just let me know. Like it's much more work and much more communication than just like thinking you can grab a bitch, fuck her, and just jackhammer. Like, I know like amateur videos, like people like to post that like, or like this record on Snapchat, they're going hard, but that's only because these people probably have done it so many times that they understand how to, they understand how the other one moves and everything. Like they've worked at this, they've understood how to do this. And yes, like I said, reality can be sexy too. Reality can mirror fantasy at times, but the thing is, it's like the feeling you get is it's probably going to be different. I have friends who are like, yeah, I've been in a couple 3-ways, and TBH, like it's whatever. Like I'm not really for it, but I'm not against it either. And I'm just like, oh, I know exactly what you mean. It's its own experience, and it's normal at times. Like if the energy is right, the energy is right. Sometimes if you guys are just doing it because you think it's sexy, you're gonna like, it's gonna ruin it for you, because you're gonna realize, oh wow, that felt like a lot more work than actual fun. And sometimes it is. And I think you guys really need to check out her video because if you watch her video, you'll get a better insight on like what as a man is okay, like not okay, but like what as a man, like you just doesn't justify. Like the term what like a man's man or being a man is so it's so, what's the word for it? It's so convoluted with like this idea of machismo and like, you know, like being a machistoso and all that. And it's not really like that. Like being a man is just being, you know, true to oneself and like never like wavering in your like anything you decide for yourself. Never wearing, you know what I mean, on the path for yourself. It's always just keeping, yeah, and it's just keeping yourself true to the path. It's not about being like the buffest guy. It's not about being the fittest guy. It's not even about being like with facial hair and anything. And I think I was really inspired for her to touch on this, because if you guys don't know, for me, like personally, like I'm a very feminine man. Like despite me being 6 foot and being like stocky, fat, and like having facial hair and like working out a lot, like I'm very feminine. If you guys see me dance, I'm very feminine. If you guys look at my face when I shave, I'm very feminine. Like it's not very funny. Like the way I talk to you, like I'm very like, I could talk manly, but at the same time too, it's manly with bases of feminine. Like I'm not afraid to tell like my homies, like, oh dude, you look, hey bro, you're looking good. Hey, you looking handsome today, dog. Like I've always been very like flamboyant, and I've never, like, if you knew me in high school, you knew like I had black nails, I had I had eyeliner on, I had my hair dyed, I had skinny jeans, my ass looked great in skinny jeans, and I always made sure that my ass looked great in skinny jeans, because I used to work out just so my ass would, you know but yeah guys, like it was a thing that I liked doing, and it wasn't because I was interested in guys or anything, but why does that need to be? If I'm very feminine, like I'm true to myself, I'm very masculine too, and I always thought, like, oh well, the fact that I'm willing to go so deep into my femininity meant that I was so manly, because it doesn't shake my core. I know who I am. And I think for a lot of people, a lot of people who come into like thinking they're not a man until they have sex, they're not a man until they're making money or they move out. Like I think if you keep if you keep gratifying this like idea of like what it takes to be a man and what it takes to be like to be successful or like anything like that, you're gonna realize like all those things don't really mean shit, and it really doesn't. Being a man is just being true to yourself. And I tell people this: I respect the man more who says, you know what, I'd rather not fuck a bunch of bitches, I'd rather fuck my wife, or I'd rather fuck the girl I really like, or I'd rather fuck one girl who's worth 1,000 bitches than fuck 1,000 bitches that's not even worth that one girl. Like I respect people like that, because they know what they want. They're not just gonna like, oh, pussy's coming anytime a pussy's available, I'm gonna go hit it. Like no, a real man fucks when he wants to, not when the girl wants to. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, like you're saying they're not, the girls are only there to like please men. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like as a person, if you're like falling victim to like, oh, I want pussy at any moment, you're making that like almost a necessity for like, oh, she wants to fuck, all right, I better do it. What if you're busy? What if you're hanging out with your friends? Sometimes you'd be like, you know what, nah, I'm not in the mood. I'm with my homies. Like this is more important. I'm already with my homies, you can chill. Like I respect that man, because that man knows like, look, whether or not like fucking is something that it is what it is. Like it's just no different. Like when we fuck, but like I'm not gonna make that like something that I need daily, and if I don't get it at all, I'm gonna fucking go crazy. If I don't get it like one bit, I'm not gonna like abandon my friends over it. Like no, like if I'm with my homies, I'm with my homies, girl, chill out. Like I'm not gonna regret this. Like why would I? Like we can fuck any other time when I'm not busy with my homies. Like that kind of person is like, he has something going on for himself, because he knows what he is, he knows who he is, he knows what he likes, and he knows what he he doesn't like. And at the moment, if you're with people, he's not gonna be like, no, what the fuck, like I'm chilling right now. And like my biggest fear for a lot of people is they don't understand that. Like they understand like when people like use the term beta and alpha, they use it in such a way that is disgustingly wrong. I've talked about this many times, but like being an alpha male isn't about being buff as fuck. It's not about being like this apex predator, looking like a fucking tank, looking like you could fuck up any nigga in the bar. Like it's nothing like that. Being alpha is, if people don't know what being alpha is, the alpha of the pack isn't somebody who thinks he's superior than them. He's the wolf that understands that he has to be the leader, and because he has to be the leader, he has to do more work than anybody else. He has to be the provider. He has to be the beacon of hope. He has to be the leader. He has to find everything. He has so much responsibility of taking care of the entire lives of his pack that he can't make mistakes. It's not about him fucking all the bitches. It's not, because for the alpha wolf, it's about making sure that his pack is safe, his pack is doing well, his pack is eating, his pack is growing. Like, to him, that's what it is. It's not about being like, oh, I'm an alpha, bro, like I straight up fuck any bitch I want. Like, no, that's pretty beta behavior. Beta wolves are, they have their own, you know, their own society and wolf pack too. They're meant to follow. They're the ones who, you know, they should be thankful for everything they get. They're not, you know, these people who deserve like these insults, but like, it's just when, like, you know, especially when they're with their own mates and stuff, it's nothing bad like that. But I think people have like really twisted it and stuff, and it's just really interesting that they think alpha means being like doing whatever you want and stuff. It's like, no, doing what's best for the homies. It's when you're an alpha male, it's really about doing what's best for everybody. You're not going to tear people down. You're not going to intimidate your friends in front of people just to establish dominance. How alpha male, and again, this is just going into their world. You want to show dominance by like hyping your boys up. You want to establish dominance by, like, you know, making your friends feel comfortable, like making them feel like they can do what you can do. And that's what being alpha is. You want to make sure that they feel comfortable in their own skin, that they feel comfortable, and that when they follow you, they feel the safest with you. Like, that's what it really be about. And I think like all these people like, oh, it's another alpha, I have to like fight against them. Like, no, if there's two alphas with each other, or hanging out with each other, that means these two guys should be bringing up the homies. They should be like the ones that lead the charge into battle, but like let the homies know, like, no matter what happens, I got you. Like, it's really that. And I think a lot of people think it's about being selfish and, you know, taking all the women for yourself. It's so redundant and so disgusting. And I'm just like, bro, you guys don't know anything. Like, it's not, it's always being positive. But if you think you have to tear the guys down, or if you think you have to like kick people while they're down in order to get ahead in life, or get ahead in like romance, it's really disgusting. It's nothing like that. Just focus on yourself and make sure you bring your people up. Like, it's really that. But yeah, like, her video really inspired me, man. I really, like I said, go check it out. I'm gonna leave the description down below, like in my comments, so that way you guys can check it out, because it was really fascinating. It was really interesting. I don't like the idea of like men thinking they have to be these aggressive aggressors and just take what they want. And I will say she does use the word hypersexual society a lot, and I think that's true to a degree. I think we've been forced to think sex is something we always need. It really isn't. I'm not gonna cap with you guys. It is something that's important to us, like, especially like at a time like for our urges and stuff. I understand it's like what it's used for. Like, everybody gets horny, everybody wants to fuck, everybody wants to have a good time. Like, it's something that's natural. My thing is, just don't force it to happen. Don't push it to happen. Just let it happen naturally for oneself, and then you'll find out you have an enjoyable experience. If you base your experience off of porn and think, wow, it was nothing like porn, I must suck, you're gonna find out that, you're gonna hurt your ego, you're gonna hurt your self-esteem, and you're gonna find yourself thinking, like, you know what, like, oh, you know, if I couldn't make her do all this like I did, like the porn stars do, then I must have fucked her wrong. Sometimes the best fuck for a girl is the guy who with the you know, the small dick size, who's going slow and kissing her and like really taking his time with foreplay, really taking his time with his strokes, and really just enjoying the moment. Like, sometimes to a girl, that is like the best sex she's ever had. And it's you just have to understand, as a person, confidence is key for everything you do in life. Confidence is key for your energy. Confidence is key for like if you want to get a job, look your boss in the eye when you're talking to him, smile, and just let your energy shine, and just say, you know what, sir, like, I just really believe this. And like, if I'm stepping out of bounds when I say this, like, don't be afraid. Just step on the gas pedal, and just let them know, like, straight off the bat what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, and tell them, like, look, I've attained these skills from the kitchen, I can translate them to this, or I attained these skills from working in the warehouse, I can translate them to this. Like, you have to have good diction, but it's confidence all comes from a deep breath and understanding that you have to sell yourself the most. And I think that's the hardest thing in the world with confidence, is when you approach women, when you approach a job, when you approach people, is you have to be able to sell yourself to them. And you have to be able to sell yourself with a smile on your face, and knowing that, like, no matter what happens, like, there's another person who will buy you if this person doesn't buy. And it's really hard. and it's really like disheartening. I know how it feels to look for a job, or like talk to a woman that you think is attractive, but you think, oh no, she's not gonna be into me. It's all about confidence. Approach them with this. And if you have insecurities about your weight, about your dick size, about your hair, about something like maybe you look too feminine looking, maybe you wish you were buffer, maybe you wish you looked like, don't ever second guess yourself for that. Like, you are who you are. You know your best qualities, you know your worst qualities, and you have to understand that in between is that confidence. Between your ego and between your insecurities is that true confidence, the truest of confidence, the truest ability to be like, you know what, maybe I'm not the fittest guy, but I'm good looking. Like, I'm gonna shoot my shot, and I'm gonna say with a smile on my face, and I'm gonna be respectable. And guess what? Sometimes, like, no cap, if you could take rejection, if a guy could take rejection so peacefully, so like so well, it's kind of sexy. I've seen it before. I've seen a moment where a girl turned a guy down. He smiles, he talks, he goes, "It's fine, we don't have to do this and that." And then he'll just chat with her and like, "Well, thank you for being kind." He'll buy her a drink, and then they start talking, and then eventually she's like, "You know what? Maybe I could go for a dance." And it's like, you have to understand, like, when you act like a spoiled brat, or when you act like you're entitled to so much of someone's attention, or you're entitled to this or that, you'll realize that is disgusting, it's childish, and that is a big turn off to a lot of girls. If you think, you know what the fuck, like, I was talking to you for like so many days, and then now you don't want to talk to me anymore, like, why am I not entitled to your time anymore? Like, what the hell? Like, I want the, like, I feel like you played me, or you owe me this. And it's just like, you have to understand, like, people, they don't want to waste your time. Like, I think I went on a date before, and this girl was not like fit. Like, I mean, we're chilling, we're vibing, but like, it wasn't anything that she was looking for, I would assume. And she was just quickly was like, you know what, like, she wasn't straightforward with me, but I knew what she meant. She was like, look, this was fun, but I don't see this ever going anywhere, because I don't see that going anywhere. And I was like, okay, that's perfectly fine. Like, I took that rejection, and eventually she found somebody else, and I was like, you know, that's fine, that's okay. Sometimes we just don't mesh right. That's okay, that's definitely okay. Sometimes you find somebody who, like, you go on a date with, and you're like, you know what, like, this is cool, I like hanging out with you, but I feel like this is a lot better as a friendship. This is so much fun having, like, my friend with me than just thinking of you as a love interest. And that's okay too. It's just the way you go about it. The way you handle rejection, the way you take it. And sometimes you have to reject yourself. Sometimes you have to be able to be like, you know what, like, I feel like I'm pushing a relationship and it's not really there. Like, I need to chill out. Like, it's just learning that stuff. It's learning how to maneuver and understand, like, you know what, I'm not going to do all that. You know what, I'm not going to be the guy who's going to get pissed off over this, because it's not worth getting pissed off of. If you're mad because a girl turns you down, there's something wrong with you. You have to understand that, like, it's not a normal thing to do. It's a very childlike to do that you didn't get what you want. It's disgusting. You're not entitled to, just because you said hi, for her to say hi back. You're not owed anything. You're not owed that. You're putting your energy out there, and if somebody doesn't want to invite your energy in, that is perfectly fine. You don't need them to, like, they don't need to reciprocate the energy you give to them all the time, especially if they don't know you and you're a stranger, and these people have their own things that they worry about. Like, you have to understand these things. And I feel like what happens to a lot of, like, these guys who think the man being the alpha is, like, when they get their egos hurt, the first thing they want to do is call, like, a girl, like, oh, you fucking fat bitch. And it's like, dude, chill out, dude. Okay, like, she doesn't want you that way. It's fine. If you're, like, a gentleman later and you're nice to her and you befriend her, maybe later she'll be like, you know what, like, you know, he's really, you know, he's not that bad, and he's really sweet, and he really, like, surprised me without taking that rejection to heart. I think he's worth some of my time. And it's just like, whoa, would you look at that? And I'm not saying that all the time that's gonna happen. So don't think, oh, like, if I had a rejection right, I can get bitches too. Like, no. You just have to be you just have to be a decent human. Just be a decent human, and you'll find yourself in a better light. You'll feel better, and you might have more opportunities than men who are just assholes. And if you think all men are assholes, like, oh, why do that girls always date assholes? It's not that the girls date assholes. They date men with powerful confidence, great energy, that eventually just warp and taint what the girl wants. It's not like they're dating somebody that's, oh, I wish a girl would date me. Like, I hate the pick me girls and pick me guys. Like, it is disturbing. It is disgusting. I don't really like it. I'm not for it. I just think it's a waste of people's time, because like, you're mad that somebody's not picking you, but you're not putting yourself out there in a way that allows them to see you. You're letting them see a physical version of you, but you're not letting them see the spiritual version, not letting them see the true self. And I think that's why these pick me people are so like loud and so vibrant about this shit, is because they never really want to be picked. They don't want to show this person the true self, because if they show them the true self, like, that vulnerability is so terrifying for them that they're scared that if whatever happens, they're gonna change, or they're gonna see something in themselves that is different than everything else. And it's really evident, and it's really it makes so much sense why these pygmy people, like, they're only based off, they always just like, well, you should like me because of my personality. Well, I would love to you if you were showing me your real personality, not just giving me this fake this fake, like, almost plastic version of your personality, because you think that's what makes a good person. Like, no, show me your true self. Like, you are not going to be any different if you show me your true self, that rather than show me your real self. It's wild to think that these people, like, think calling a girl a fat bitch is gonna make her go, you know what, oh my god, he called me a fat bitch, I'm gonna go home and sleep with him. Like, no, that's not how it works, guys. Don't be that guy. Don't be the asshole who gets mad that a girl won't send nudes and just say whatever, bye. Like, earn the nudes. Like, do you know how amazing it is to earn nudes from a girl? It's not just asking for her, but it's flirting with her and be like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like how your legs look. And then she sent me a little bit more. Come on. Like, it's that cute little flirting back that makes those nudes more worth it. If you're just like, hey, you're hot, can I get nudes? Like, one sounds a little bit more sexy than the other. Also, you have to respect the fact that just because if you want nudes doesn't mean you're gonna get nudes. Sometimes, like, sometimes you meet somebody who's like, I'm not gonna send you nudes. You're like, okay, fine. And then one day they surprise you with nudes. You're like, oof, why? And she's like, I just think, you deserve to be teased a little. And I was like, ooh. Like, it was like one of those things where it's like, damn, I am a lucky man. Like, you really have to understand, like, you have to not force everything. I think that's what porn has kind of done, is like, it's brought on this like, porn, of course, to loop back around, porn has brought this whole fantastical idea that a man has to jackhammer a bitch, he has to, like, get caught jacking off, he has to be, like, very lewd and forward, and then offer money to women, and then they'll sleep with him, or that he can go pick up any woman and just be like, hey, you want to go back to our place? It's like, it doesn't work like that. The real world is more systematic. It's more, and it's just feeling people out. It's not just like this, like, crappy, like, little video of these guys going around town being like, hey, you're a MILF, wanna fuck? I got money. And then, like, thinking that's gonna happen. Like, no, it doesn't always it's not how it happens. Like, I get it, some fantasy is based off of reality, but that's not the whole reality in a nutshell. You're not gonna just think, oh, I want to fucking MILF. Where the MILFs at? Like, no, sometimes it's, like I said, it's all energy based. Sometimes you meet an older woman at a bar, you're chatting, and she goes, hey, do you want to go home? And you're like, okay, sure. Like, but it's not gonna be like this intense experience. Sometimes it can be like this horrible experience or something. I don't know what you guys need to hear, but sometimes it's the truth. You guys need to understand that sex and all this stuff is, you guys have made this more fantasy than reality at times, which is okay. I'm not hating on it. I'm just educating you guys. Sometimes you need to relearn stuff, and I just, sometimes it doesn't hurt to understand, like, this kind of concept. It doesn't hurt to be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be, like, totally too aggressive on a woman. Now, if that's what she's into and that's what she's, like, telling you, like, hey, I would really appreciate it if you're just a little bit more aggressive, or if you just do this and that, that's perfectly fine. But don't do it in the beginning of everything. Don't just like when you're chatting with a girl and like grab her by the neck and shit. Like no. You want to work her, like you want to work her a little bit, in a sense that like you want her to get comfortable with your touch. And once she's comfortable with your touch and she touches you back in a way, like maybe you touch her hand by accident, or maybe like you do like a small little pat and then she touches your hand, and then or she touches your shoulder. Like once you guys are familiar or like comfortable with each other touching each other, that's when you progress more and more physically, and that's when you progress more and more like intimately, and that's when you allow things to happen. Now you have such a trust of a person's physicality. You know, like, okay, when they go like this, they're not gonna hurt me too much. Or if I'm allowing them to hurt me this much. It's really hard, and it's really interesting process of doing or allowing these kind of interactions or these physicalities with each other. But it's nothing that's impossible, and it's nothing that's shouldn't be implemented right away on meeting a total stranger. You should really like allow it to progress. And I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I fuck hard, that's the way I like to fuck. Like, okay, well, I mean, find a woman who wants to fuck like that. If she doesn't want to fuck like that, don't fuck her like that, because guess what? If you keep doing it, two things are gonna happen. She's gonna want to up and leave, and two, the worst thing that can happen is you don't let her leave, and you're just like, nah, fuck that, we're already fucking, let me just do my thing. Because guess what, buddy? If she doesn't consent to being choked, if she doesn't consent to her hair being pulled, being bitten on, and like pushing the pillow and getting fucked like a fucking rag doll, that's rape. And as much as you think it's not, because she's like, nah, she wanted to come home with me, she didn't consent to getting like literally fucked like she was a fucking toy, dude. Like, that's rape. And you have to understand, like, that's the big thing on why all these cases happen, and why all these guys are like, but she wanted it though. She came back to my room. I was like, do you know how fucking disgusting you are to say something as grotesque as she wanted it, or she came back to my room? She came back to your room to have an experience, to have a good time, to have a little fun, and you just literally just decided, no, I want my fun. And if my fun is a sacrifice for what hurts you or what you enjoy, then so be it. No, that's not how it should be. And if you do anything like that, you're a fucking piece of shit, and you should understand. You should look in the mirror and say, hey, you know what, I'm a piece of shit for doing stuff like that, and move on, get better, and just don't ever do it again. It's not hard to take accountability for your actions. It's not hard to understand, you know, maybe I shouldn't be doing all this, and understand and be able to apologize, like, hey, I'm so sorry I've been doing all this, I feel horrible, I feel disgusting, and I just want to say this, I'm not happy with myself at all. I'm holding myself fully accountable, and I promise to the people, and truly mean it, and say it with sincerity, that I'm not going to do anything like this. And you know what, guess what, and don't do it ever again. Because when you do stuff like this, or when you ignore other people's consents, that is rape. That is no different than if you were to be a predator and attack somebody in the bush, because they still did not consent to what's happening, and you're putting them into trauma and pain, and their body's tensing up, and you're scaring them in a way that they don't like, and you have to understand that. As a person who's seen this, or not seen this, but like who knows, like who's talked to people who like, I don't like to be doing this way, and sometimes like I would just fucking, you know, think he's the man, think he's the oh, since I'm the guy, I'm in charge, I should do whatever the fuck I want kind of mentality, which goes back to this hyper masculine idea of like, nah, the girl doesn't know what she wants, I know what she wants. Like, no, you don't, bro. Do you know how fucking foolish you're gonna look when she talks to everybody and goes, yeah, the sex was whatever, I never came. Like, even forcing a girl to come, like, is disgusting too. Like, girl might think, oh, forcing me to come, that sounds fun, but like, imagine like being stimulated to the point where you're literally in pain, and it'd be like your orgasm is basically a reaction now. Like, I would hate that. Like, I would hate if a girl like was jerking me off to the point my cock was hurting just so I could come. Like, I wouldn't even feel like I came. I wouldn't even feel like I orgasm. I'd feel like it was just a reaction, like it was just naturally something that did happen. And that's like not my biggest fear, but like that's my worry for a lot of people, is that like they're gonna be doing this thing, oh yeah, let me rub that clit super hard. I was like, my guy, be careful, because like you're not trying to like sand the fucking floor, you're trying to like, you know, you're playing with a vault safe. Like, you ever played like those old PS2 games when you have to get the joystick and you have to like get it in that perfect angle, so like you break the safe or something. I'm thinking of Sly Cooper. I'm just saying. But it's like getting like that right angle in there and just holding it there for a second and then doing it again and holding a new section. It's just like kind of like that. Like you're out here like thinking you're sanding the floor like fucking playing like bro, like unless she like, if you go off the like, again, when you build to it, it could be fine. If she's like, okay, go faster, harder, like that, if they're building to it, it's fine. But if you're straight like off the bat, she's gonna be like, okay, chill out, just softer, and it's really evident. And I think a lot of women are patient with so many men when it comes to like sex and what men think the girls want and what the girls actually know what they want. Because I mean, come on, you would know what you want as a person, and if somebody's doing something wrong against you, you would be like, you know what, no, don't do it like that. Like it's evident. We know what we like and what we don't like. So guys, listen to your women when they're like, okay babe, and then take it slow and then work your way. Because guess what, sex isn't a race. It's not a race. You're not thinking like, oh, if I gotta make her come quick. Like, no, take your time, enjoy the experience. Guess what, guys, like sex is such an intimate thing. It's like dancing. You don't have to dance fast and dance like crazy. Sometimes a small little waltz, a small little movement, all that can be romantic. All that can be just joyful, because when you move slowly and you increase the speed and you enjoy yourself and you're having fun, everything kind of just fades around you, and it becomes a very intimate moment between two people. And I think that's my biggest, like the biggest thing I want to like reiterate again is you don't have to rush sex. You don't have to just jump into it and just think, all right, first off the bat I have to put it in and then I have to just fuck her like a fucking rabbit. Like, no, enjoy it, allow her to like press it in you, or not press it in you, but allow her to press it in her, kiss her, hold her body, like kiss like parts of her, like enjoy sex. Don't just run into it and just think, all right, let's just go in and go out. No, it's not like that. It's not like I said, it's not like you have a time limit. Like, don't put a time limit on yourself. Just enjoy the experience, have a good time, and then, you know, eventually there's gonna be times when you guys are able to read each other's bodies and you're able to read each other, so you know exactly what the other person wants, and then you guys have bonded so much that you know how to, you know, time crunch in sex, but you guys know how to like still keep up the energy and still understand like, okay, this is what I like and this is what he likes, so if we do this, we can really like, you know, make that 30 minutes to an hour session real quick go into like 10 to 15 so we can go and do our thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really stuff like that. And I think you guys just really need to understand that it's nothing like it's not like this rite of passage, like once you have sex you're a man and no one else can tell you that. It's nothing like that. It's all about understanding like being a man is who you are. And you know what, sometimes men don't want to date women. Sometimes men just want to chill out and like, you know, maybe some men are asexual, maybe some men are demisexual, maybe some men are gay, like maybe some men are transgender, like, you know, like what I'm saying, like it doesn't really mean a thing. And coming from a person with a very masculine culture and very like you know, being machistos, being like really masculine, and that there's a lot that's probably overlooked when it comes to stuff like this. But my biggest takeaway is it's understanding like, look, like I don't need to jackhammer a bitch. I'm a big dude. I don't even go on top sometimes. I'm a big dude, so like sometimes mostly the girl's on top of me, but it's really nothing. I don't have to just like you know, like throw her on there and like manhandle her. Sometimes I'm very like for lack of a better word, cute with it. Sometimes I like to take my time. Sometimes I like to enjoy it. Sometimes I like to tease. Sometimes I like to like really be in the mood and have fun. And I think like a lot of people would think, oh man, you probably destroy her, huh? I'm like, that's a little aggressive. I don't really destroy her. We have a very like intimate, we have a very intimate moment. Now I get it, in guy talk we're like, yeah, I hit that, bro, I destroyed that, I beat that pussy up. Like it's fun to talk about, but like if you're thinking that's how it's supposed to be done, you're crazy. And if you do it right off the bat, you're crazier. Like take your time, enjoy it, and then work your way into like that moment where you just get, you know, you guys maybe you're a little harder, faster, and then the rhythm starts picking up. Like if like it's like a song, you know, that's the perfect way to put it. That is the perfect way to put it. It's like a song. It's like if the guitar player is playing too fast, the drummer is playing too slow, and the bass player is literally trying to follow one or the other. what's gonna happen is like the whole thing is gonna sound conjumbled. It's not gonna sound coherent, and you're just making noise and not music. But when you really hear each other's rhythms and everybody starts being on the same pace and the flow starts going, everything sounds beautiful. It sounds like music. It sounds like a coherent piece of noise. Like, it sounds like, okay, there we go. Now we're making music, baby. And I think that's what you guys have to do. You guys have to be making music. Don't just, grab a guitar and start going like, start playing like fucking gent music and the drummer's trying to slow down and do some like breakdown stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys know what I mean. But like, yeah, make music. Don't make noise. That's the best part. That's like the best way to like when I talk about sex is like, you don't have to cause it feels like if I tell somebody, be slow and be soft, they're gonna be like, well, my girlfriend doesn't like it. She likes being like hard and rough. Well, she likes being hard and rough. Be in sync with her, be in rhythm with her. Like, I'm saying keep the rhythm and understand that, like, all songs don't always start off fast. Some people want it slow, and you also have to take this is the biggest thing also, is all girls are different, all women are different. Understand that, people, please. Like, if you're with someone for a long time and you guys have your own rhythm and you're trying to implement that on somebody else, you are gonna find yourself in the biggest shock. And I think my buddy went through this too. He told me this, and I really cracked up when he said, yeah, I tried to fuck this new girl to the same way I fucked my old girl. And I was like, why would you do that? He goes, because I thought that's what girls wanted, and that's what my girlfriend liked. I'm like, oh my god, my guy, girls like to be fucked differently, and like, they all have their own different rhythm. I'm not gonna listen to fucking Slayer when I fuck one girl, then listen to fucking Big Sean when I fuck another. Like, no, like, I'm not gonna use the same song for every girl, because then they're gonna be like, I don't like that, no, that's not working for me. Because you're just gonna realize, yeah, that's not what they like. You have to be, that's why I always tell people, just start off neutral ground, start slow and then work your way into it. Because then you either find, okay, they don't want me to go this rough, oh, they want me to go this rough. Like, it's just be mindful and really just learn to read the body, learn to read what tenses her up, like in a good, like in a like what relaxes her and what tenses her up. And once you master the ability to, like, see what works and see what doesn't work, it's reading body language. Honestly, that's what it really is. But once you master that ability, you'll be able to understand, okay, you know what, I'm gonna have like fun, I'm gonna enjoy the experience. But like I said, it's every woman's different. I'm not gonna speak that if you do all this for every girl, like, it's gonna get you laid at all times. Like, you have to remember, what's so important about getting laid all the time? Like, I don't understand it. Like, putting having a girl under a notch in your belt isn't something. I mean, I get it. You want to brag about it. You want to like show your friend, like, oh guys, yeah, I got this hot bitch. Like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's dope. But like, at the end of the day, like does it benefit them? Telling them, like, does it make you seem more cool? It doesn't really, because everybody can have sex. It's not something new. It's not something different. Is it cool because the girl's hot? Guess what? There's a lot of hot girls that like to fuck ugly guys. Does that make you any different? Like, it's just like, there's nothing to really brag about. If it's something like, bro, me and her had this experience, bro, like the way I kissed her, the way I touched her, like, I've never felt like this way before. Like, the way we climaxed together was impeccable. I can't explain how amazing this felt. Like, that's something to brag about. To me, that's something like, oh damn, bro, you had like a real experience with this person. Or like, damn, bro, you really had like that a really intimate moment with this person. Or you guys really like bonded in that moment. Like, to me, that's something that's worth like bragging about, because that makes sense. I'm taking a water break real quick. That makes sense to me. That makes so much sense, because you're like, oh wow, like, that sounds like something to brag about. Not, oh yeah, fuck this hot bitch. And you're like, oh, how was it? It was dope, bro. Like, I came. I'm like, really, dumbass? You came in sex? Wow, that sounds like it must have been amazing. Like, no, man. Like, so you're telling me it was just whatever? Okay, I don't need to know this. If it's something that's really like got you feeling a type of way and you want to tell me, then tell me. Okay, wow, that sounds amazing. That sounds like powerful. That sounds like awesome. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know, man. I feel like I mean, too many people have made this idea that you have to be rough and aggressive. You have to like grab a girl, bend her over, and like really take her. And I think to a degree that is correct, but it's take her in a way like more confidently. Like, don't just grab her and take her and manhandle her. She's like, no, ill. What the fuck are you doing? be with confidence. Like, make her move on her. Like, make her, like, show her that I want you, and I want you, like, and I'm gonna take you home through your words, through your body language, through like through a way that just shows her that this is what I'm into. I'm into you, like a confident way. Like, that's what they want to read. They want to read that energy. Put that energy in them in a confidently, in a positive way. Don't do it in a negative way. Like, oh, I want you more than anything. I'm not gonna stop until I get you. Like, don't put it in a creepy way. Don't put it in a negative way that just comes off as like, you know, you're about to use this person, or you're about to like just straight up dog them or something. Because that's not the way to do it, man. Like, you have, like, everything can be miscommunicated through your energy and through your emotions, and that's the way you go about it. It's not about being handsome. It's just the way you approach somebody and be like, yo, you know what, like, I'm not gonna lie, I saw you cross the bar, I think you're pretty cute. What's your name? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, you're not interested? That's fine, that's cool with you. I just wanted to say hi and see that smile of yours in person, real up close. I get you. You got a boyfriend? Oh, that's cool too. Like, hey, I'm just saying, you're a lucky man. Hey, let me buy you a drink. I'm gonna get one drink for you, one drink for me. Cheers. Thank you for, you know, allowing me to, you know, enjoy that moment with you. I'll be on my way. Stuff like that. That's all you really need. So if you just approach stuff like that, you'll that's a more respectable way, because you're understanding your place. You might step the boundaries a bit, but it is what it is. All right, guys, I'm gonna take a little 2-minute break, so allow me just to I'll be back in a minute. Hold on. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. But where did we leave off? Yeah, we talked about approaching people at the bar. We talked about the whole thing of like being respectable, coming in a certain approach, and not going, you know, full balls to the walls with it. Just be simple, be cool, be respectable. You're rejected, people with rejection, be a little nice. If you want to step the bounds a little bit, you can, but just don't overstep the bounds. Just tap your toe and just be like, oh, well, he's a lucky man. Like, let me at least buy you a drink. Like, it's your own way of saying, you know what, look, hey, you're doing your own thing. If I interrupted your energy, I'm so sorry. Let me get you a drink, and we can call it Dutch. You go your way, I go my way. Simple as that. Man. I would really hope that a lot of people would understand that this concept is really simple, but they don't. You know what? I'm gonna wrap everything up right now, because it's like Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, everybody! And I kind of want to just go and do my own little thing. So yeah. So we're gonna wrap everything up in the next couple, like at least 3 to 5 minutes. So I'll leave you guys with this. Look, be respectable to everybody. And just understand that nobody owes you their attention. Nobody owes you their kindness. Nobody owes you that. You have to be able to just provide that. And if they don't give it back to you, they don't give it back to you, and move on. If you hold on these grudges, if you're like, oh, all women only want this, all women want that, like when you start dwelling into this incel mindset, when you start dwelling into these nice guy mindset, this neckbeard mindset, you'll really realize like that's not really healthy. And if you keep thinking women like that, they're just toys, they're just tools, you're gonna destroy. You're really gonna not ever have actually productive relationship with anybody, because you're just gonna be having this kind of, what's the word, agenda. You're gonna have this kind of fixed. It's just bad. It's just all bad. All I could say is just be respectable and understand consent. And these type of people are products of this hypersexual society, or hypersexual, but these fantastical society where they think that porn is real, or they think they have to fuck a girl like this, or they think they have to do it like that. But most of this, what's sad about most of this though, is it stems from insecurities. They've watched this porn and they think, oh, I'll never be able to do what this guy does. I'll never be able to do what that guy does. You have to keep in mind, they work and work and work to get those angles, and they work and work and work to do that. Like, if you think that girl's having fun on the set, like, bro, after her 4th or 5th time, she's like, okay, did we get it? Because this is annoying. Like, you guys have to really realize that, and you guys have to understand that. And you can't be comparing yourself to something that's like immediate. It's like, I'm not gonna compare myself to Ben Affleck's Batman. Like, that's an amazing character. He looks dope. He's buff. Like, why am I gonna compare myself to that? I'm nothing like that. The only person I can compare myself to is someone in reality, and be like myself. You guys just have to remember, like, all this is fantasy, and not compare yourself, and not hold yourself to that standard. Because when you let all that go, you'll really realize that you know, you can still have a good time and we have meaningful relationships. I think that's the hard part, is understanding, like, you know, you have to build something from the ground up. You can't just be like, oh, I saw this in this, so let me implement it there. Like, no, it makes sense. So like what makes sex so like fun and almost like bewilderment and wonderment is the fact that, like, when you first have it with someone or you're first doing it, it's almost like a learning process, and it's clumsy, it's awkward, and that's what adds to the fun, and that's what adds to the whole experience of it all, is because you're going through with somebody in a way that you've never gone through with them before, and you're tripping when they're tripping, you're falling and they're catching you. It's a learning experience, and you have to allow yourself to make mistakes. I'm not saying just think you know everything, but I'm saying, like, you know, sometimes you don't, and sometimes there's things that you really don't know because a certain person likes something in a different way. Like, it's just letting yourself understand the person, listening to your partner or the person you're with, and just learning based off of that, and you really will find yourself in a more enjoyable experience. Don't be insecure about anything of like your weight, the size of your cock, anything like that. It doesn't make a big difference, because at the end of the day, what makes sex so magical, what makes it so like mystical, what makes it feel like you're in the roller coaster going down Splash Mountain, is the fact that you're having it with somebody you can be intimate and vulnerable with, somebody that you can, you know, that when you touch them, they tell you how they like to be touched. When you kiss them, they tell you how they like to be kissed. Like, those kind of things really add up and really make that whole thing so intense that it becomes more graphic, or becomes more like, what's the word? It becomes more climaxful than anything you could see in porn. Like, it's the truth. It's just that's how real life compares to fantasy sometimes, is that it's able to even go beyond that experience. But that's only when you go through it with somebody, or when you have the correct energy and you have the correct way of doing things. So yeah, guys, just remember that, like, it's always a fantasy. If you're growing up and you're comparing everything yourself to, like, oh man, I'm so small compared to these porn stars. Well, guess what? They literally get in these videos because of the size. They think that's the most appealing. Sometimes it's not all that matters, because I've known people with huge dicks that like fuck wrong, and then they turn the girl off, and she's like, you know what? Now I don't like big dicks because some people don't know how to use them. It happens. Sometimes girls like, oh, I fucked a small guy's dick and it was whatever. It happens. Don't be insecure, dude. It happens to everybody. Sometimes a girl fucks somebody she doesn't want to ever fuck again. It happens. You just have to understand that this is a normal process. It's learning through life. It's trial and error. You don't have to satisfy every woman in the world, but if you meet the right one, you definitely want to go above and beyond to satisfy her. And sometimes that's the best part. You just have to be able to listen to her as well and understand what she wants and what she doesn't want. But yeah, I just want to thank Samantha Leone, or I think that's how you pronounce her name, for inspiring me for this video. You were amazing. I'm a huge fan of yours. Your music is fantastic. I enjoy every content that you provide for us. I enjoy the vulnerability. She's amazing, guys. Please, again, go check out her channel down below in the link. It's going to be in the description. All I could say is, just be mindful of yourself, guys. And if you guys want more clarification on her experiences with, hypermasculinity and hypersexuality, check that out. I really recommend it. You might learn a thing or two, and it'll provide a better context. But that's gonna be it for your boy, guys. This is Poppy Wolf saying peace out, y'all. Have a good day. Happy Easter. And yeah, just be mindful. And I really hope you guys take this away from you. Lights.